Binks had to get up early for this. Sorry, little guy. He's like, why did you do this to me? I didn't have to play the maid. Today is day 2 of the main event, day 2A-B. Basically, the way that it works is in the main there are 3 starting days, and the first 2 days are a lot smaller than the third one. So basically, days A and B merge together on the same day for day 2, and then day 1C just plays by itself on day 2C, because that day has like 4,000 people. This year's actually a huge field for the main event. I think it's the 3rd biggest field ever. I think it has something like 7,200 entrants. The biggest ever was 2006, the year Jamie Gold won, and then the second biggest was 2010 when Duhamel won. But that Jamie Gold year was epic huge. I think it was over 8,000 entrants. I want to say it was like 8,200, 8,300. I'm sure someone will let me know in the comments below. But this is a huge main event. You know, this is the 3rd biggest ever. Like, this is very good growth for the event. So, and you know, I think as a general topic, there are a lot of people that think that poker is not going in a good direction, poker is shrinking. And don't get me wrong, some aspects of it are for sure, especially online play. I think a lot of those areas are getting smaller, still relatively large, but shrinking. I think live poker in some areas is still expanding. I mean, look, this is a great year for the main event. A lot of other events increased in size too. I know that there are some ones that were smaller, like the one drop, unfortunately, was a little smaller this year. But I think that was more based around scheduling and less based around, oh, this guy made a move, and less based around the event itself. You know, they put the one drop at the start of the year this year instead of the end. And so I think it's much better at the end, because people have a chance to maybe run hot, win something, run up a bankroll, and then take a shot at it. If you put a high roll at the start of the summer, really only people that can just, you know, afford it before the summer starts can play. So I hope in the future that they move the one drop back to the end of the summer. I got like 180 entrants last year, and I think around 130 this year. I'm not complaining. Look, it's just fine with me, but it might be better for scheduling. Anyway, so big year for the main. Excited to be back. You know, I have 3 swaps in this event, right? One of my swaps, who will go unnamed, Jason Moe, swapped with me and then didn't bother playing. So our swap, dead. Second swap, also not going to name them, Ryan Fee, told me today he's late regging day 2. And he actually worded it like this. He said, look, Doug, amateurs late reg day 1. Real pros late reg day 2. And I was like, oh, so you're just not going to be there on time. So great swap as well. And then my 3rd swap is with Andrew Nemi, who I saw him actually bag for day 2 last night. So I think he's going to play day 2C. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with my swaps. Generally speaking, in years past, I've had more swaps. I hope I'm not forgetting 1 or 2 swaps, because it can always slide by a little bit. But in years past, I've had more swaps. But nowadays, it's just such a hassle to, you know, have like 2, 3, 4% all over the place. And then you have to go collect. And it's just not worth it over just those small pieces. So we're taking a ton of ourselves and trying to run deep. The last couple of days, I was doing the break desk for PokerGo/ESPN. It was really sweet to actually get to be on ESPN2 for the break desk. I've never been on TV in that way before. I think I've done it for, you know, playing in events, but that's totally different. You know, when you're playing in an event, you don't have you know, hands you have to review, or, you know, it's not live. It's basically just you're playing poker, right? So it's like, you know, pretty easy to do. But this was actually, you know, on ESPN2. Myself, Kara Scott, and David Williams talked about some hands, talked about what's going on. It was exciting just to be part of that, you know. I guess I've just not had that opportunity before, so it was a really cool experience. I will admit, you know, the first moment, they're like, all right, we're going live in 3, 2. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to be on ESPN. Pretty sweet. Hopefully I get to do some more break desk stuff in the future. But I think it's really important in those spots to try and have fun with it, you know. Don't feel nervous, don't feel worried, just try and think of anything that, like, you can talk about, anything about the hands you can talk about, and then if you have a joke, just try and go for it. You know, if you flop, whatever, just is what it is, but I just try and have a good time with it. So I've not checked my table draw today, so I don't know really who's going to be at my table. I think we have a small chance of being at the feature table, which would be pretty sweet, but we'll see what happens. You know, if it gets a little further into the tournament, probably will do a little bit more, I don't know if I'm going to call it study, but a little research on who's going to be at the table, just so I have an idea of what I'm coming into. But it's still so early, so many people. Just taking it one day at a time right now. We'll see where the table's at. All right, so this is the chips we got today, guys. This pile. Okay, so we're here at day 2, table 715. Got under starting stack, as Sam was happy to let me know.
It's a cute little, I mean, we can definitely.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'll give you some black. You want some black for that? Here,
look at this, and you can see I'm all business because no stealing the blinds.
Yeah, that's
business. Paying off big riverback.
You know what I was actually doing last time? I was putting my anti-chips out for my blinds to hide under the radar.
Right. Okay.
Under the radar, you know, because like when you're young, you're like, all right, look at all these anti-chips, and then you're starting to be like, wait, then people know what's up. Yeah. So you got to keep them on guard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. How much do you have here? This is a ton.
235, mate.
235.
All business on day 1.
All business.
Like all the focus, basically all the full houses. I'm
nice.
Not all the nut flushes.
Nice.
All the top boats.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Well, what would you finish day 1 at? What rank? Second. Oh my God.
God damn it.
Oh, it's all right. It'll get better. It'll turn around.
If I'm in the top 5 stacks, I'm going to play super loose to make up for
nice.
it, you know?
Nice.
So.
Okay. And I'm going to just let you have pots. Stay out of your way. I'm rooting for you, so you know.
I mean, I was doing a bit of research when I saw the table draw. If only there was some sort of content so I could find out how you played.
That would be great.
I was thinking, I wonder what Doug Polk's strategy is like. And
that could be a big thing. That could be a big thing.
He's like basically like Eric Seidel. He's been hiding his whole cards. No one knows how Doug plays.
The silent assassin.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Mel. Good luck today. Okay, so we're here on break. Just played level 1. We ended with around 60,000 chips. I'm gonna quickly use the restroom. Or not. What's up, man? We got Nan Noko up in the mix.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
How you doing?
Good. How's your main going?
90,000.
90,000. All right.
Yeah.
I'm working with 60. Not bad.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's upswing poker, not break even poker.
Oh shit! Bang, getting called out here.
Good luck, man.
All right, thanks, man. Peace. Oh, owned. All skill here at the Rio.
All skill.
10-9. Boards are straight.
It's not enough to beat the flop, but to get the 5 on the
Up against 9s. All skill.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So level 2 just ended. We ended with 86,000. Pretty good level. There's a hand I think you guys are going to be interested to hit. Oh, what's up, Fees? How's it going, man?
Not much, man. We're doing good.
So this hand is super interesting. The blinds are 4-8, and under the gun opens to 2K. We flat on the button with King Queen, and the big blind comes along. About 6K in the pot. The flop is 8-5 deuce with 2 clubs. We have the Queen of Clubs. Under the gun leaves out 3.3K. We make a little bit of a questionable flop float, and the big blind calls as well. So the turn is the 7 of hearts.
Oh, hey, Vanessa, what's up?
I am getting so fucking tired of this joke.
All right, anyways, the turn comes the 7 of hearts. And at this point, I'm thinking, you know, I know there are 2 players in the hand, but I didn't float the flop to give up here. And the action checks to me. Now, with King Queen with a club, I'm not really afraid to bet this, because if I do bet and I get raised, whatever, I'm okay bet folding my basically just 2 overcard hand, right? So I bet 8.8 thousand. Big blind calls and under the gun calls. So we're taking a 3-way turn here. We've got the 2 overcards. My game plan is probably give up unless the river is a club, and the river is the 4 of clubs. So it's now 1 to a straight, the flush gets in, and the action checks to me. Under the gun has around 30, 35,000. Big blind has me covered, and we're on like something around 60, 70,000. So I have a club, this is about as bad as it gets. We fire out 31,000 on the river. Big blind snap folds, and I actually can see him like when he mucks, I can see a 9, so I know he had top pair. And it's back to under the gun. Now under the gun goes deep into the tank, and he's just really thinking it over. It's basically his main event tournament life, and I'm thinking like, please get through. We have absolutely nothing here. I'm sure there are people that if I had lost in that spot, they would have been upset.
but or they would have been upset with me. I know how you guys can get. Anyway, he tanks and lets it go. And so we get a big bluff through here in the WSOP main. We were up to 120 at one point. We're back down to 86,000. So I'm excited for this. Ready for level 3. We're going to be in the feature table, by the way. It's going to be on ESPN too, so it's also pretty exciting as well. Alright, so we had a big level. We went from 86,000 up to 155,000. 3x starting stack now, which is pretty sweet. And we actually had some kind of interesting hands go down, but I've got time for one, so let's talk about probably the most interesting hand that I played. So, action folds to Sam Grafton, who's in the, I'm going to say low jack. He's on piles, in like 450,000. Big blind's 1,000. That's absurd how many big blinds that is. Anyway, he opens it up, and I'm in the hijack with King 9 of clubs. So, a hand where, you know, I'd probably mainly look to fold, but I like working it in as a bluff 3-bet every now and then. I 3-bet, and then sun's out, guns out. What's up, man? Anyway, so I 3-bet. He opens to 2.3 thousand. I 3-bet to 7.2. And the button decides to call and come along. So button's also pretty deep. He's probably around my same stack size. We're both on around, I'm gonna say 100-ish. He's probably a little bit deeper than me. So button calls and Sam calls. We're taking a 3-way flop here. The flop comes 9-6-3 rainbow. So I flop top pair, second kicker. Sam checks, and now I think, even though this is obviously a great flop for my hand, all things considered, I'm definitely losing to you know, 10s, jacks, maybe queens. The button could be flatting, and then also, of course, if he did slow play, Sir King's pretty loose for that too. And then Sam, I'm not too worried about, but I would anticipate him having hands like jacks and 10s, and then the occasional set. So even though I think that I have a good chance to be good here on the flop, I still decided to check it over to the button. At this point, button checks back, and we take a turn. So the turn is the 10 of hearts, creating a flush draw. We have King 9 of clubs. Sam checks, I check again, and the button bets. The button bets 14,000 here on the turn, and Sam gets out of the way. Now, I think it's a pretty clear call with a 9. You know, I'm going to have a few other 9s that are probably better calls, like 9-8, 9-7 suited. I think those sometimes as well. I'd also occasionally have a hand like 9-9 and then trapping that probably on the turn as well, but betting would be okay too. But in general here, I'm mainly going to have a lot of ace kings, maybe some ace highs, a few bluffs getting up. Maybe a couple 10x hands that could 3-bet check flop and then look to give up, but I think a lot of those hands are going to bet flop, like if I did 3-bet jack 10 suited. So, you know, I would have a couple of the combos of that. But anyway, the point remains, King 9 is pretty high up within my turn check range. Face a bet, and I call. The river is a board pairing 6, which is kind of interesting because if he had a hand like King Queen, King Jack, Queen Jack suited, obviously he bricked. I don't think that those are too likely, but possible. And then of course the flush draw bricks, in case he has a hand like Ace Queen or Ace Jack of the flush draw as well. So I check, and then he picks kind of an interesting sizing here. He tends to bet about 26,000 on the river. I think in general, that should probably be a slightly bigger size. What's up, man? Nice to meet you. Nice, thank you. So I think like in general, may probably pick a little bit of a bigger size here. I mainly am gonna have a 10 or a 9 or an ace high hand. So if you have jacks or queens, or even 10s, right, then you're probably gonna wanna pick a size that puts those hands in a lot tougher spot. Anyway, I'm not happy with King 9, but I think it's high enough in my range where I do wanna call. It's also worth noting that it's better to have a king in this spot than a queen or a jack, because a king isn't really as often going to end up being a flat pre. You know, if he has ace, king, or kings, I think he's going to 4-bet. Whereas if, you know, he has queens or jacks, I think he's more likely to flat. And then additionally, he definitely could have ace, queen, ace, jack suited and not ace, king suited. So anyway, I decided to eventually call, and he did have ace, queen of the missed flush draw. So we won a pretty good sized pot there. A lot of other hands too, but you know, short break, I got right back in the action, guys. So head into level 4 with 155,000. All right, so we just got back from dinner break. Got 166,000 chips. going into the final level of the day. We had a little bit of a late dinner break today.
Love the vibe.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
It is excellent.
Record a little scene right here.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry. All right, thank you. Anyway, so we're at 166,000, going into the last level of the day. A little bit late dinner. Interesting hands from last level. My God, it was on TV, so some of you guys might have seen some of them. I think the most interesting hand I played was there was an open in the low jack, and I flatted ace-10 of diamonds in the cutoff. Blinds are 600, 1200. He opens to 2700. I call in the cutoff. Hello. I call in the cutoff, and I think the big one. No, we're heads up to the flop. Flop is queen 9-8, 2 hearts, 1 club. He checks. I fire a bet of around 3,500, 3,700. Back over to him. Sorry, no, I start 4,200. He check raises me to 11.2 thousand. Now, we're pretty deep. I'm on like 180. I cover him. I think he's got around like 140. Pretty deep. Obviously, my hand is pretty shitty, but I kind of feel like when you make this small check raise and you're out of position, you're really kind of asking for floats because you have such little, or rather, you're gonna have to play across so many different runouts that it's hard to balance it. And I also feel like if you had some really strong hands, you'd be looking at a larger check raise size. So I float, probably questionable. Anyway, I call. The turn is the 4 of hearts. The flush completes. He checks. At this point, we have a pretty solid, clear bluff hand. We fire out about 25.6 thousand, and he lets it go. So got that one through, pretty sweet. And other than that, we're chipping up 166, and we're going from there. So let's jump into the action. That's gonna do it here from the Rio today. We ended at 287.5. But anyway, so we ended at 287.5, and yeah, we picked up a ton of big hands. I had so many 3-bets, and I just had like jacks, kings, a couple lighter ones too, but mainly just had the goods. You know, that's obviously a good place to be. And then I 3-bet kings against someone. They jammed around, I want to say 22, 23 bigs. 24 bigs, and I called, and they had 6s. So we got the hold there. That was pretty sweet. As far as like post-flop play goes, nothing too interesting from the last hand or last level. So I don't want to get too much into hand history. It's just tons of like, you know, small pots, picking them up, and just kind of coasting. So pretty excited, guys. I have like, you know, a pretty solid stack going into day 3 in the main. It's 287.5 thousand. Tomorrow I'm gonna be doing some more break dust stuff with David Williams, and I think it's Dave Williams will be there tomorrow, as well as Kara Scott. So excited for that tomorrow on Poker Go. But we're going to be back 2 days, well, tomorrow for you guys, but 2 days for me from now to play day 3 of the main. Good size stack, hoping to make a run. I'll see you guys there. Woo!